Hey scrubbers, it's Vanessa here, and today I have a process video, and I'm using my February hip kit. I did start subscribing to the hip kit again, and so I'm playing with that kit. And so I have this pattern paper here. This was called Silly Stories, and it has this sort of fun stripe, and then it has this blue background with this like kind of tulip floral. I'm going to actually cut this out, so I'm going to take off this white on the side and keep this middle part, and then I am going to take my distress tool and distress the edges of this, and then once I have that, I'm going to take and add it to this white cardstock. This is just white cardstock from my stash. And then I'm going to cut it down probably to about 11.5 by 11.5, give or take, to use this pattern paper here, which is from the kit, and it is Time Will Tell. And it's this floral, but you're only going to see the edges of it, so you're just going to see some color peeking out. But I am going to gut the center of this. It had this green and circle pattern, geometric pattern on the back. So I'm going to gut the center of this, and then I'm going to cut this down so that this will have a border around it. And then, like I said, I'm going to put this on my background as well. So everything will get cut down so that it's 11.5 by 11.5. And then I will have the edges of this that will be distressed a little bit, just to add a little bit of interest. So that will go on my page like this. And then I have my photo here, which is of my son. I just have a piece of white cardstock that I just cut the start of a frame. So I have this frame, and then I'm going to back it again with the blue, the pattern paper that's going to be the frame of the layout. I'm going to back it as well on my photo. And then over to the side, I just have a few things that I pulled out from the kit to use to embellish this page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera and just get this cut down, distress the edges, take out the center of this, and I'll probably back my photo so that we can come back and talk about what we are going to do to dress up this page. So yeah, I'm not going to make you watch this. It's going to be pretty simple. I'm just basically going to cut this paper down and cut it out so that I can place it on here. Pretty simple, but I will be back with that part done, and then we'll start sort of putting this layout together. All right, I have my background down, so I did map my photo like I said, and I'm thinking my photo is going to go around this area. And so I have gone into the kit, and it came with these vellum large letters. So I'm going to use that for my title. And this is kind of what I'm thinking I want to do, is have my title kind of nestle here along the photo. So I'm thinking that I want it to go something like this. So we'll see if I can get this lined up how I want. And then I'm going to use that O. So my title is going to go vertical and horizontal. And then I'm going to have that down there is what I'm thinking. Then my photo's sort of nestled here on the edge. And then I'm thinking I'll have a cluster here. It's really going to be super simple, but a little something here, little something here, and then possibly something up here. I like to have 3 clusters of sort on this page. So I'm thinking I like this title placement here. so what I'm going to do, and I thought because this is going to be relatively simple, there's not a whole lot going on this page, I thought what I would do is I did pick out some floss, and so I'm going to tack down these letters, and then I think what I'm going to do is take my piercing tool, and I'm just going to do just like a row of like 3 cross stitches, so like 1 here, here, and here, just on one side of each of the letters, and use the corresponding thread. So that one would be the orange. I'm going to use that for those 2, and then I have this green for the B. I have this one for that one, and then I have that, and I can't figure out where my other one went for this, so I've got to go find my thread for this one. And I'm just going to do somewhere on the edge of the letters, somewhere, just those 3 little stitches, so 3 little X's. So what I'll do is I'm going to go, my title's going to go exactly where you see it. I'm going to go tack this down, and I'll leave one almost done, and I'll just come back and show you what the little cross stitch that I do. But it is going to take me a minute to do that, so I'm going to lightly tack these down and then use that stitching to sort of make it a little bit more secure to the layout. But that is what I'm going to do for my title. And then, like I said, I have those 3 embellishment clusters and just a few things here off to the side that I think I'm just going to place in those clusters. So they're going to be pretty simple. But I'm going to go do this, and I'll come back and just at the end show you just a little bit of it, since it would be a very long video if I left it all in. Okay, you can see that I have most of them done, and I'm just on the last one here on my E. So basically it's just a normal cross stitch, nothing complicated. I just put the needle up in the corner of one, and this is hard when I'm actually standing up doing this, but I just cross it. It's probably hard to see on camera, and then find the hole on the back, of course, to bring it up, and cross it over, and then I have my cute little 3 cross stitches on each of my letters, so you can see how cute that is. It just gives a little detail. And then I just come in here. I generally just throw my thread underneath a few of the stitches, just to help it not come unraveled. And then I am securing it with some washi. And probably what I will do, because there is washi and thread and things on this page, I probably will take a piece of thin white paper and just back the whole layout, just because it'll keep everything contained, so nothing will come unstuck if it goes when it goes in the page protector, I guess is the right way to say that. So there we have our cute little stitched title and our cute little photo. So now we are going to work on embellishing this page. And I think I said I wanted to have a little embellishment cluster up here, and then I just picked out items from all of the embellishment sets that are in the kit. Everything I'm using is from the kit. I think I have some, I'll probably pull in some enamel and some other little embellishments just to finish it off from my stash, but you'll see that here in a second. So I have that little frame that I thought I might stick down here. And I have this little silly stories from the ephemera. And then I liked this little circular piece. Thought something maybe like that down here. Really simple. Like I said, I'm not looking for anything too, I think I want to put that up there, anything too complicated for this layout. And then I want to do these over here, I do believe. And I pulled this because I think I'm going to back this. So I think that's going to go up there like that. And then for this, I do believe I have a 2-inch punch, and I'm thinking I want to punch these. It's just, don't know whether I want a 2-inch or 1/2 inch. Let's see. I think I have to cut a little of this off the edge if I use a 1/2. Yeah, I think I like the 1/2 inch. So, and that'll be up there, and then I probably will put some puffies up here. So I have that there. The question is, do I want these to be 2? Let's see. So yeah, if you don't want to use these in the full square that they come, if you have this kit, you can do what I'm doing and cut them down with a punch, or you could use a die. You don't even have to make it a circle. You could do a rectangular or a banner. Anything like that would work. You definitely don't have to do or leave them in the squares that they come. So let's see. Like something like that, maybe that one over top and slightly under the B, maybe. If I do something like this, possibly. Kind of like in that, I think. And then, yeah, that one up there. Move these out of the way. Let's see what we got here from the puffy stickers. And I have to say that HipKit creates some of the best puffy stickers. I really love them. I think I like this little camera up here somewhere. This yes is kind of fun for down here. And then everyday life could be fun for down here. Maybe that up there like that. I have a sort of a circular theme going, so I'm trying to play with that for sure. And then, do I want some arrows? Don't know that I do. Maybe one, just not that one. Maybe this one. I don't know. I feel like up here needs something. I just don't know what. Maybe that. So I will need to play with this a little bit. That circle might go underneath. I have to play with that cluster a little bit, but I'm trying to just see what else I want to put on this page. But I think, like I said, I wasn't planning to super embellish this page. So I am planning to keep it pretty simple. So it might stay just like this. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this glued down. I do have, like I said, some enamel hearts. They're super tiny from my stash. So I'm thinking I'm going to dot these little hearts around. I have 3 different colors, a blue, a green, and a orangey peach color almost that I thought kind of work with these colors. So what I think I might do is get this glued down and figure out where I'm going to place these. And then we'll see if this needs anything else. Alright, to finish up this page, I did start adding these little sparkly circles. I did 3 up here, and those tiny little hearts, hopefully you can see them. I've placed 3 here, 3 here, and then 3 here. They're not glued down, but they're super tedious because they're super tiny. So I put them on so you could see where they're going to go. You'll see it in the close-ups at the end, and you'll probably get to see it a little bit better. And so now I'm just going to come in with these dots, like I said, and of course, because those aren't glued down, they are going to move everywhere, which is awesome. Not really, but just think of those 3 being right underneath that word, because they're not going to stay. Yeah, definitely helps if you can glue these things down. And then one other color am I going to use? I'm trying to do sort of like an enamel dot, like I would with enamel dots, and place 3 on the page. So maybe this one, and up here maybe. This one's not, it doesn't have as much room to play with as some of the other ones, so kind of just placement for that one's a little bit different. That there. Then one of them up here. And a third one, let's see, maybe this color to be down here. There we go. And then last, I just need to glue those on. I don't think I have like most of my layouts, I always do splatters of some sort. And I haven't decided if I want to add splatters or something else to the background of this. It feels plain to me, but I'm not sure that I dislike it. So I think I'm going to call this done. You'll see in the still photos if I ended up adding anything extra to it. And you can let me know in the comments if you think that I should add splatters or ink or something to the background. But yeah, we're going to call this done. Still photos will be up next, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.